everybody. Back again after a 1 week break. But we're here. I'm Rish, my man Carol is with me, and we're just gonna, as usual, shoot this shit about a bunch of topics that I've selected. And as always, you could just follow along with the topics in the description, and let's just get into it. All right. First topic I sent to you was about the Topps 2024 definitive new set that's coming out. It is the probably one of the most expensive boxes you could possibly buy in any sports bet. Mind you, did you read the article or anything? It comes with one pack with 5 cards in the pack, right? So 8 cards in the pack, and 1 pack per box. Right, and you know how much 1 box costs, by the by, right now on eBay? They're selling at $7,000.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
that's usually what I spend. You know, when I'm collecting, that's like 7,000. I'm like, take it. That's Yep. Like it's nothing. But I do it in Indonesian. I do it in Indonesian rupiah, which is like 7 cents, 7,000 Indonesian rupiah. So.
I got $7,000 to drop on 8 baseball cards. Yeah, why not? Sure.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Sounds like a very solid investment. The best part was
I don't need to pay any maintenance for my apartment or save money. Save money. Who needs that? We're all gonna die in like 3 years anyways, right? So
you only live once. No, but so it's funny. Like I was at dinner.
This for? Is this for that was my thing. Like, is this straight for collectors? Is that like? Yeah.
I mean, because you're not. No, if you're a reseller, the only way it benefits a retailer is if you're buying sealed product and selling it at that price, right? Because if you have a distributor and you're getting this wholesale, you're probably paying maybe like $1,500 to like $2,500 max, right? And then you're flipping it for like $7,000, right? And so
hold on. So let me get this straight, right? Let me explain it from a point of view that I get it, right? So my friend has an exclusive deal with Nike here in Indonesia, right? Okay. And he goes to the same meetings that Foot Locker goes to, right? Okay. So he gets the products that Foot Locker doesn't get, because he gets those exclusive, high-end, high fashion that are not meant for high volume retail, but because he has an exclusive deal with Nike, he cannot sell them at a profit. He has to sell them at MSRP. He has to sell them at retail cost. Otherwise, he loses his.
But you're making a profit even at MSRP. Because if you're buying it wholesale.
Correct. He is making a profit.
I get your point.
But what I'm saying that if those boxes should be selling, like if I'm a retailer, right? If I'm a retailer, I get it for a wholesale price. Am I the one that's also allowed to resell it for like $4,000, $5,000, $7,000 again? Like, or is there some sort of a deal that I cannot do that? Like that, because again, because he has an exclusive deal with Nike. Let's say you have an exclusive deal with Topps, like you are the only one in the area that's selling. Like, so there are no guardrails against this, right?
So I'll just tell you from my personal experience dealing with distributors is the first wave of when these sets release is the lowest it's gonna be, right? Because after that, even the distributors themselves,
the resellers.
No, even forget about the resellers. I'm talking about just the wholesale distributors themselves. After that first wave, once it hits the market and they see how the price of that box fluctuates in the market, they're also gonna raise their rates. So like if they say, if like the first wave was only $1,000 per box, and then they throw it out to the market, and then the market balloons, and then they're selling at $7,000 a box, I guarantee that distributor is probably gonna start pushing that box anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000, right?
Yeah, I mean that kind of sucks.
Yeah, same thing with the
That kind of
retailers
sucks.
because the retailers there's no like explicit agreement that you're signing with these distributors saying that you can only sell it at MSRP. They tell you what the MSRP is, and usually it's like 30% lower than usually standards 30% lower than MSRP. But once you get it,
Yeah.
there's nobody telling you what price. You set the price. Even at stores. That's
Again,
why.
as I said, I'm still learning about this industry
Yeah.
from you, right? So
Yeah,
it's kind of it kind of sucks because that means there is no way that you can get it at the cost that it should cost, right? Let's say you are a collector. Forget you're not interested in reselling. You're not interested in you are interested in collecting and potentially down the road selling the cards, not the sealed packs, not like you're interested to receive those exclusive, game relics cards, and then once you open it, you have it in your collection, and then 20 years down the road, when whatever you're trying to offload your collection because you're trying to retire or whatever, you want to buy an extension to your house. I don't know why, but that's what you're doing, right? So there is no way for you to get it at retail price. That's what you're saying. Like you're not there's no, at this point, you cannot get the packs at retail price anywhere unless you're buying them directly from Topps, and Topps is only selling them to stores that are an official business, correct? Am I understanding this correctly?
So yes and no, right? So first and foremost, that yes, Topps are only selling to they don't sell to end consumers. They only sell
Right.
to distributors and other retailers at wholesale, right? And then
Right.
and then the thing about the price though is in the beginning, right? Like the first 6 months of the release
In
of
the
any new set.
beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning. Yeah, you can potentially still get them at MSRP or like a reasonable price, right? But then once the market adjusts and then people start, really, especially if it becomes popular and the price
Right.
goes higher, then it's going to be much more difficult, obviously, to get it at retail price. Like you could probably still, if you get lucky, like whatever, like a Walmart or a Target does a restock, and you're there the second they do a restock, then yes, you can get it at retail.
So you're saying that like Target and Walmart still receive those. They also receive the packs, right? There's still a pack. Because again, I'm thinking that you can only buy it from like smaller stores. I didn't know Target and Walmart.
That's why I'm saying yes and no. That's why I'm saying yes and no, right? It's because there is a huge difference between those retail things that you can get at Walmart and Target, and then there's there's a difference, because in the industry there's something called retail boxes, which are Walmart, Target, and then there's hobby boxes, which are sold. They're not sold at Walmart, Target. They're only sold at like card stores and local LGSs and stuff like that, right? So that's why like it's really weird to like give it, like you could potentially get it at retail, but then like those retail boxes at Walmart and Target they also do not have the major hits that like a hobby box will have, like there are certain cards you cannot get in the retail box that you can get in the hobby box. That's why people are, but then that's also why people, collectors especially, people who are not, have no intention of selling, they get really upset with the industry because of what you're saying, right? Is because
I would be upset too.
Yeah, because it becomes
I'm upset and I'm not even in this hobby. This is not even my thing, and I'm getting upset.
Yeah, because you're right, though. It's nearly impossible, especially when it's a popular set. It's nearly impossible to get it at a reasonable price. Like, especially once you're like 3 to 6 months in, forget about it. If you catch it early, right when it comes out, then yes, you can find it. But even if it's like a super hyped up box, even at a release date, it's impossible to get it at a retail value. So
thank you for answering, because then again, now I understand that it's again close to impossible, right?
It is.
Well, so they're not required. They're not. I mean, Walmart and Target, again, those are.
That's also, but that's also like when you're talking sports cards. When you're talking non-sports cards, that's different, because that is.
But then you're saying if there's a hype behind it, it doesn't matter what card it is. The retail price, the suggested retail price, doesn't matter, right? So it just matters about. So again, there's no way for you. So let's say like my friend, right? Like there was an exclusive Nike shoe release, right? Yeah. He's not allowed to sell it at non-retail price. He will lose his contract forever. Like they will not work with him anymore, right? Because again, he's just like Foot Locker, they sell it at that price, right? And then that's it. That's the price that they have it at. You can buy it, and then as an individual, you can resell it on whatever you want. But again, in the collectible card world, that does not exist, right? So as a small shop that sells, or someone like yourself, but again, you can't even get it because you're a reseller, right? You don't have a brick and mortar store. You're not an official Topps distributor. So again, let's say
sports cards are impossible to get a distributor unless you have a brick and mortar store. The only distributors I have a distributor for Pokemon products, and I have a distributor for comic books and in video games. But yes, when it comes to sports cards, it is so difficult to get a wholesale account from because the industry is so big and it's so like aggressive. People are constantly looking for stuff. And then the other thing, like that, the difference that I was trying to point out with sports cards and non-sports cards is with sports cards, after a certain season, that printing is done, right? Like they're not, after the 2024 season, they're not going to continue printing a 2024 season. Next is the 2025 season, right? So those rookie cards, especially like those Wemby rookie cards, are always going to have value as long as he continues playing well and there's a lot of hype around him, right? So those sets are eventually going to like really go increase the value, especially if there's a lot of high players. With the non-sports cards, it's different because sometimes these companies do reprints of like older sets or whatever, and then that'll cause the market to tank, right? And all the values will drop, like because like for example. This trading card One Piece, some of these cards originally, the first printings were worth like $1,200, $800, $600 raw card values before even getting graded. And then they did a reprint and they all dropped down to like $300, $200, $100. So like, yeah, so it's non-sports cards is different. Like you could potentially get really good deals if you wait, right? Because if you with non-sports cards, if you wait 6 months, usually all the prices will tank. And then you can get stuff really, really good price. With the sports cards, it's the opposite,
Understood. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for answering this question. Yeah. And that is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. All right, moving along. Okay. The John Elway's autograph cards are a spotlight. And not his football cards, but his Yankees baseball cards.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I learned so. I didn't know. I didn't know he was a two-sport wonder boy. Okay.
And the Yankees too, dude. He was
how crazy is that?
How like that is a big time.
How crazy is that? Yeah. Like he got drafted like 56 or something like that. How did I not know this? How did I not know this? How is this like a sports thing that has escaped me?
Honestly, the only I could probably maybe think of 2 or 3 athletes that have played multiple professional sports. Like Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, John Elway, apparently, and then I mean, who else can you think?
Don't forget prime time.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like 3, right? Yeah. That's impressive, man, and especially at that level, that's wild.
Crazy. Yeah. Crazy.
And his rookie card, his baseball rookie cards are going for a lot of money. Like they're not cheap.
Like that, you see, like that, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. That is something extremely unique, very different, very interesting part of sports history. Forget
especially
John
one of
Elway.
The greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game, right? And then you see him in a Yankees jersey throwing out a pitch and a baseball card. Like that's a memorabilia word, and it's autographed, So that is worth keeping. I
would collect that. Like that's the type of weirdo stuff that I would get. Yeah. Seriously,
that is serious.
And forget this would be with my Yankees collection. Forget John Elway stuff and no. This is part of the Yankees history,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought that was very, very cool.
That's why I thought it was such an interesting thing. I was like, wow, I didn't even know he played on the Yankees, let alone played a whole different sport, you know?
I mean, that's cool. Like that, I understand. Like, I don't need explanations for that. I think that's like
that just makes
super
sense.
dope.
That just makes sense.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and he played like different eras, right? Like he, he had a really long career in the NFL, and then he played a few seasons in the MLB. You know, like that's a pretty extensive athletic career. Like it's wild.
Dude, I think we get drafted like in the top 60.
Yeah, and then just switch and be like, yeah, I'm gonna play football now.
it's like the same thing like Allen Iverson, playing quarterback and stuff.
Yeah.
Or was he quarterback or running back? Quarterback, right?
Yeah, I think it's quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, that is, all crazy things, and equally as talented, and that's why he was able.
Like, it always surprises me and impresses me how talented some people are, right? Like they can they can play that high level of something, and not just in one thing.
God-given ability.
Because they're two.
Get it? Evolution given ability from their ancestors to hunt. Like, okay, you throw this very thing orb into a face of an animal to murder it. Like, okay, you're great at pitching in baseball now. Like just the physical ability that some people have. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I'm down with that. That works for me. That would be something I would collect. That would be something I'd be like.
If I had that kind of
Careless, what's your collection? I got a Michael Jordan baseball rookie card. I got a John Elway, baseball rookie card. Yeah. I got, I got something else. I'm sure that I hope there's like some sort of obscure hockey player who has played like MLB soccer. So I would have that.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome, right? Yeah. Like if they had a Wayne Gretzky like hitting the soccer ball,
Yeah. Wayne Gretzky, professional golfer, wait. Like what's his name? J.R. Smith, like I would have if they have a golf cards, I would have J.R. Yeah, man. He went back to school, got his degree, and he was playing like NCAA, like Division I, and then like trying to go into the pros. Yeah. You know what? We should read about that. I'll find out about it next time.
Maybe. Yeah. Why don't we put that next week on one of the articles?
Let's do it.
All right. Moving along. Next article: Rise of the Marvel card. Did you see that?
I did. But like you said, those are like reprints again, and then
But it's wild that Marvel trading cards are making a resurgence now in the industry, and like if you look, like some of these boxes, they retail $549, and another one is $749. Some of these card values are huge.
Dude, when was the first Spider-Man with Tobey McBobby? What's his name? Tobey Maguire.
Man, that was what, like 1999? Early 2000s? 2001, 2002.
Someone born in that year is 24 years old now. So there are people who don't know the world without the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I see this continue to rise. Like, I remember when we were teenagers and it was 2000, right?
Well, I could see that in like.
But like people, like if you were into Marvel comics, you were like a dweeboid, like what are you doing? Like what is wrong with you? Like especially if you were like an adult, if you were an adult human male, like you were that dude that you see in the Big Bang Theory, like Stewart and stuff like that. Like, that was you. But now it's like it's cool to like Marvel because of the movies and stuff. I mean, yeah. By the way, Kraven the Hunter. Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about that. No, of course not. I saw the when they announced it. I was like, it's gonna be garbage. Why are they wasting their money? Like, what are they doing? Who greenlit this? Sony, you need to hire me. I'll greenlight all your freaking good movies. Okay.
There's really no point in making a Kraven movie if you don't involve Spider-Man. That's number one. And then number two, like if you don't have a good cast, like the cast that they put, like
dude, the cast is great. I don't know what you're talking about. The cast
I don't like that guy as Kraven, dude. That kid, that young dude. I don't like it.
It's not his fault, dude. It's the director. They just got, the director did. It's the same dude that did. What's that franchise? Video game that the movie flopped with Kevin Hart and recently it just went straight to streaming. Not Fallout. No, not Fallout. The other one.
Borderlands.
Borderlands. So it's the same director that did Borderlands.
I heard that was really bad. I didn't even
actually no. It's the same producer. I didn't watch it either because it's garbage. Yeah, it's the same producer that did Borderlands, and the director was the one that did the Hemsworth movie where he's like the great freaking ninja dude that killed in India because he's saving this kid.
Extraction? No.
Yeah. One of those. Yeah. So that was the same director. Dude, straight to video. I get it with action,
the first one wasn't bad. The second one was terrible. The first one was okay. Yeah. But
anyways, let's get back. But I get it because there's people that they don't know. Marvel is a huge deal. Marvel is a huge deal.
But do you think that so these guys are what you said, 25, 30 years old now? I mean, do you think that they're paying these prices for these things? One hobby.
No, but what I'm saying is that there are people who don't know the world without the Marvel universe, and then there's people like us that have been exposed to it for the past 25 years, and then they're seeing the rise of all this thing, and they're predicting in the future, Nostradamus type of stuff.
I think most of them are familiar with it in like a digital form, right? Where they watch the movies, they see the anime stuff, but they don't. A lot of them didn't grow up in the trading card era. We grew up in the trading card era, so trading cards are nostalgia for us, right? Nowadays.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's so many. You also again, I agree and disagree with you because the digital trading cards, like Hearthstone, there's certain things that are part of, and if you think about it, if you're 24 years old, that means you're probably already working, right? We spent, as a 24-year-old, I spend money on stupid stuff, right? I did.
I can't deny
so
that.
potentially, now that I got a job, I moved out already. I'm after college, I'm working. Maybe I'm living in a big city, I don't know. What's a big city in Midwest? I don't. I'm.
I spent a lot of time in the Midwest. I know.
Well, you spent more time than I did, but I'm in somewhere in Nebraska. What's a big city in Nebraska, or Omaha. I'm in Omaha. I'm working in an office.
It's not that big of a city, bro. That's the biggest city in Nebraska.
I said Midwest. Before we're gonna get some hate mail because of this. But that's what I mean. You're working, you're making money. You're you know what? Maybe this is I like this. Maybe I'll get something like this. And then again, you have everyone in between and older than us that are watching Marvel and saying, you know what? The video games are popular, the movies are popular, except for Craven, Madam Web, and Morbius.
Do not get me started on that one.
So most of the Marvel stuff is good, except if it's made by Sony. And then and then you're sort of projecting.
I like the Spider-Man ones, but other than that,
I mean, that was the old ones. We don't count those. Yeah, but I get it, and I think that's going to continue to rise because it's pop culture, right? It's pop culture.
I'm also a Marvel fan, so I love this. I love that the cards are back and they're doing really well. They're popular and they're and they're popular because the Spider-Man card went for $50,000. These things.
Who knows? Maybe I'll get the Craven card, on sale now, and I'm just gonna hold on to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be worth 50 cents, I'm sure.
Great. It's gonna hang next to my John Elway,
Yeah. It's a photocopy of the John Elway.
Hey, don't. Jeez, man, don't kill my dream.
Hey, I'm just being a realist. I'm just being a realist.
just me signing as John Elway on a printed version.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not it's John Elway playing football, but I'm like I photoshopped the baseball giant baseball.
Exactly. Yeah, and he just color in his jersey. Yeah, yeah. You do some good
Man.
Photoshop work. All right, let's move it on.
Put stripes on the Broncos.
Yeah. Just mess with like the Broncos logo to make it look a little more like an ad. Yeah. No. All right, let's move it along. Okay. Do you remember next article, I'm sure you read. Do you remember that case of the hockey cards with the Wayne Gretzky rookie that sold? The guy who won the auction, did not pay, reneged on a $3 million auction win, and then they went back and
he cost this dude $1 million.
Yeah, it cost $1.2 million.
Because I'm sure there was a betting war going on originally between him and someone else.
Yep.
And then that freaking asshole, it cost
now he has to sell it for $2.5 million. Which, I mean, I'm sure is still a hefty.
It's still a lot of money. It's still a lot of money. Let's not.
Yeah, but that's still a big hit. That's a big hit.
$1 million less. Yeah. Like, oh man, I would,
Yeah,
I was about to say some stuff I would regret being on the internet forever.
I think I'm just angry at reneging. Like, why let it get that far if you knew you didn't have the money? Like, these are serious things.
His explanation was dumb too. Like the guy that promised to buy from. Like, dude, I don't care. Like, you're the one. It's like my friend is trying to borrow. My friend is trying to borrow my GoPro for his job, and he's like, "Yo, people at my job are gonna use the GoPro." I'm like, "Great, you're borrowing my GoPro. You break it, you buy it. I don't care about anybody at the job. If anything happens, you're the one responsible." So it's the same thing. Like, oh, someone was supposed to buy it, and then if that's the reason you're buying it, you should have let the person buy it directly on the thing.
Exactly. Like you're basically drop shipping that shit. Like that's what you're admitting to everybody.
Yeah. So
like,
don't be mad just because someone like you messed up. So that's on you. It's not fair. It cost the dude $1 million. Like I.
Yeah,
like if you didn't I'd be so upset. I'd be fuming.
Thing is, like, if you didn't have that money to pay for the right, then there's no reason why you should bid. Even if you knew you were gonna flip it and drop ship it right immediately, you need to have that capital secured in your bank.
I say that dude needs to be banned from auctions. Like, he cannot be in any sort of legitimate auctions from this point forward. Like, there's no way, because costing someone $1 million because I'm sure there was a bidding war. I'm sure there was someone else who equally wanted it.
That's why I went
they drove up the price, and then like not to be able to sell it. That's
the worst. It's the worst kind of thing. I mean, it's just. Like I said, like whenever you go into auctions, like even on eBay, like when I bid on things on eBay, like I will stop bidding the second I hit my budget. Like, and my budget is always how much I have in my bank account at that time. Like I'm not gonna continue bidding hoping that, hey, hopefully I'll make some money to cover the rest before I have to pay the guy. Like that's bullshit. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, man, I think that sucks, and that guy should be banned from
100%. No, he's
the auctions.
Yeah, no, any auction house would ban somebody like that for life.
That's it. He's not allowed to bid.
Yeah. All right, let's move along. Okay, so November, the grading companies got in a record high 866,000 cards submitted and added to their grading system. So that is almost 1 million new graded cards on the market now. Like, that's wild, and that's in 1 month. Like, how bananas is that?
It's it's crazy.
Yeah, like that's how big the market is. Like, people are grading cards
again, like
crazy.
I'm also like, for some reason, again, like I keep forgetting, even though I live outside of the United States, that the world is a big place and there are collectors everywhere, right? So there's a lot of people on this planet. There's a lot of people there's a lot of millionaires. Forget, regular people that have a lot of money. There's a lot of millionaires on this planet. Like, I guarantee there's like at least a million or 2 million millionaires on this planet.
But PSA and CGC and then Beckett, the three biggest ones, they're pretty much international because they grade Japanese cars, they grade Chinese, Korean cars, and these guys overseas in Japan and Korea and China, they're buying these PSA cards and these Beckett cards from these graded. So it's not just the U.S. people that are submitting cards. It is.
That's what I mean. That's why it's not a very. It's a very large number. Don't get me wrong.
It's a large number when you think about the market itself, but then when you think about where it's coming from, then it doesn't seem like a lot, right? Because there's a lot of countries. It's international. I mean, it's not every country, but there's a lot of countries that have big collectibles markets.
Yeah, I mean, just think about, just if you include Europe and United States, and then let's just say you include Korea, Japan, and then Australia. Like, that's a lot of people, bro.
That's a lot of people, bro.
We're not even including China. We're not even including India.
I'm not even thinking about China and India, which is the two largest populations in the world. But no, I mean, I'm just saying just like the heavy collectors, right? They're usually focused on the United States, Japan, Korea is a big collecting market, and then parts of Europe like England, I think EU is a little less. Yeah.
It has to be Italy, Spain, like with soccer and stuff, I presume,
Yeah, but like those
India with cricket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, and then when you talk about soccer, then you got all of Latin America, you got like
it's not like it's a big number. A million cards in 1 month, close to 866,000. It's a big number.
It's just a lot of cards in the market.
But it's a huge industry. No wonder you're freaking in it,
Yeah, exactly. Like it's bananas. Like I'm always like surprised when I realize how big this market is, and every time I learn something new, I'm just like, holy shit, man! There's a lot of people, either spending money or selling. Sports cards, sports memorabilia, comic books, Pokemon. Like when you put all of that together, that's a lot of people out there that are spending their money on this stuff. It's wild.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. All right, next topic. Did you see the 10 comic book cartoons that they think should make a resurgence? And I agree with almost all of the cartoons on here. I
agree with only one, and it needs to be a movie. Batman Beyond. Everything else can go.
That's a good one. Yeah. Well, you're not a Spawn fan? Spawn was great.
Oh yeah. No, Spawn is great. Spawn was great. Spawn. Yeah. But that was good. I mean, I watched the Spawn movie like 10 times or whatever. I used to have it on VHS. So.
But don't you think a modern Spawn movie would be so sick? Or
it would be fantastic.
Or like a dark, gritty Netflix show or something on Spawn. That'd be so dope. Because
it would be fantastic. I agree. Yeah. I agree. But I don't think they should be brought back as a cartoon. I think it should be brought back more.
Live action. Yeah, I'm saying live action. Yeah, because we have the production capabilities to make a really great live action Spawn.
Yeah.
And I mean, just based on the list, I'm a huge Superman and Spider-Man fan. I would love to see those shows make a comeback. Maybe like a more modern Superman show or like Spider-Man. They do a lot. There's always a lot of Spider-Man shows, but I just love the character, so I'm always fun. And then I used to be a huge fan of the Incredible Hulk show back in the 90s. I wouldn't mind seeing that either.
I watched it, but I don't think there's a lot to. They tried, right? Like She-Hulk and all that other stuff. Yeah. They try to squeeze that intellectual property out, But I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough meat. I don't think there's enough not enough.
It's definitely not
like that character as a comic book character, and like it's great. And as a cartoon, it was fun to watch, but I don't think it's strong enough as a standalone. Like, again, that's just my opinion,
right?
I don't
entirely agree there, because if you follow modern Hulk comics, they've evolved his character.
Well, they're doing the movie, right? The Red Hulk that's coming out with Harrison Ford, right? Hulk, so it's there. It's already in. It exists. So it's not like they're you know.
The other thing is they've done a lot of Hulk movies, and they weren't always really that great, right? Like the Banner.
What, you telling me the Edward Norton one was not fantastic? What do you?
Yeah, I was about to say, how serious is this guy right now? Yeah, no, but like honestly, the only like I started really only liking Hulk in the more like the Avengers movies, right? Because Mark Ruffalo I thought was good, but
I thought he was good too. Yeah.
yeah. So you know, like it's hard because you know you get kind of stale on Hulk because they do put out a lot of Hulk stuff, like and like She-Hulk, the TV show, which wasn't that good. So you get like a bad taste for Hulk. I get that. But I agree. I think by far the best top of the list has to be Batman Beyond. That has always been one of my favorite cartoons from the 90s.
Yeah, I think they should bring it back. Like, did I send you
the YouTube thing? Yeah, the fan made
cool
thing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, obviously they're not professional, so there was like, you know, but it was pretty cool.
I mean, you can't have everything, but it was well made. It was well made.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like you know they have those fan made Star Wars ones that are like really high production value. Like I like those. Those are good too.
They're so good.
Yeah,
so good. But yeah, there were a few again like Batman Beyond. I don't know about the Justice League one or whatever it was. Like
I don't really care. Did you see the Savage Dragon? Do you remember that show back in the day? That was a pretty good show.
Savage Dragon? No, I don't. I must have skipped
that was
that
an
one.
old school cartoon. Yeah, 90s.
I don't know what that is. I was like, blah.
Yeah, it's like a lesser known one. Not too many people know about it. But yeah, it was just a fun list to go through because these are all the cartoons from my childhood, you know. So except for maybe like Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That's more modern. I never watched that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. All right, let's move it along. Oh, this is a good story. So recently, the CEO of Sony was interviewed, and he was talking about how they originally got the exclusivity rights to GTA and why they pulled the trigger on that, and it was all because they were scared about the Xbox being released, and they didn't want.
It makes sense. You remember those days, the exclusive wars? Like it was exclusive galore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Back in that era, like during when GTA first started getting big, like both systems were signing exclusivity deals with production companies to get like these huge IPs solely for these consoles. And
I think also maybe the article is discrediting it a little bit because I believe that Sony had to know that when Xbox launched, they were going to launch with Halo, right? They're going to launch exclusively with certain games that Sony was not going to have, right? So I feel yes, of course they were worried because it's a new player entering, and Microsoft at that point was a huge company in terms of like software, like for Windows.
Yeah.
Of course they had a reason to be fearful. So I think it makes complete sense that they did that, but also I feel that it's not. In the article, it doesn't discuss that Microsoft was releasing the Xbox with exclusive games just for Xbox. So it was sort of a retaliation. And then, they had the whole thing back and forth, that they had Halo, they had Gears of War, they had like all of these things, there was Grand Theft Auto and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I remember when Grand Theft Auto Vice City, I think, finally came out on Xbox. I was like, I gotta have it.
As a business move, it's just a sound business move to make these kinds of partnerships and agreements, right?
Of course.
Because then you
I don't know why it's like I get that this was like a clickbaitable name, like, oh, Sony was worried. Hell, never were worried. Like if I'm the major player in the market and I just dethroned Sega and Nintendo a few years back, right? And then now all of a sudden you have one of the largest software companies that is coming out,
system.
Of course I'm fearful. Like if I wasn't fearful, if I wasn't worried, then I'm a crappy business person because then I have no idea what's going on. So in a way, it's like a clickbaitable article a little bit. It's a cool piece of history. It's a cool piece of history to find out.
To read about it because you kind of understood that that's what was happening in that era. But and everybody talked about it like as players, we all like commented on like these really great games you only got on these systems, and it was frustrating. But but maybe as a kid you didn't understand it, but now like you get it. Like yes, it was a sound business move. You did that so that you could sell more of your console, right? Because anybody who wanted to play that game had to have your console. So that just made sense to do that. And if you know that the game is going to be popular, then that means you have a lot of people playing, on your console. So I mean, it just makes sense for you to do that. And it was just, it was more. I think like reading the article was more just reinforcing what my already internal beliefs were. Where like, oh, I knew that's probably what was happening. Yeah. But I agree. It was very clickbaitable. It was very like, just throwing it out there so you'll actually try to read the article.
Yeah. I mean, we did read it, so.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. All right, move along. All right, next. Did you hear about PUBG creators are making a new game? It's a survival like horror type game, and they're saying that there's going to be 1 million maps on that game. And number one, I can't imagine how large that file size is going to be for that game if it has 1 million maps. And if it does,
you know what I
want to know.
Okay, go ahead. Finish. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to know. Like, is it gonna be like a rotating thing where like every week or every month there's gonna be different maps, or is it gonna be like, oh, boom, there's 1 million maps for you to choose from. You get to pick what map you want to play on.
No, you know what I feel it's gonna be. It's gonna be generative AI because we're coming to that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
So that's what I think he's like. In a way, every time you play, it's just gonna generate a map when you're playing. So that's how, even think about how many games take place per day. I doubt it's 1 million games a day, but I'm saying like if you have.
I mean, PUBG, you might be close. It might be more, man. There are a lot of people playing that game.
Yeah, but what I'm saying again is like generative AI is getting so good that potentially it's not going to be it's all going to be designed by AI with. 100%. And I'm sure there's going to be, glitches and stuff like that, which is completely normal on this. Yeah. But that's the future, right? Because if the game engines are getting so powerful now, and the computers, like especially with the, who's releasing that new chip that's like quantum computing that does like a trillion bajillion calculations in like a second or something, that it would take 10,000 years for the current computers to be able to do.
Yeah, I know NVIDIA is working on something like that. I don't know if they actually.
No, it was just like a recent announcement, like last week or something. That I forget what chip company, but they made a chip that even the most advanced chip currently would take like 10,000 years to make this calculation, and it takes like a second or 10 seconds for them to do it. So that's where we're moving into. So like video game generative AI levels will be a standard practice, I think, in those online games. Yeah. So, and it's going to be just something that generates, and then considering most of the gaming is done on server farms anyways, right? It's not, your computer's not generating it.
Yeah.
So I feel that, that's the way. Obviously, they're going to be like the first ones, and then there's someone else is going to come and perfect it even better, and it's going to evolve. I
mean, when you're the first pioneer in the market, it's different.
It's cool. I mean, I feel like it's a little bit of grandiose of an idea, because if you remember,
that's what I was thinking.
What was the game that said like they're going to have 100 players, and then not Call of Duty series, it was the other war fighting games. There's Call of Duty, and then there's Battlefield, right?
Battlefield. Yeah.
So Battlefield, like originally, like a Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, like they said, oh, it's going to be 100 players, and then they capped it off at like 20, so it was 40. So I think maybe 1 million is obviously a very nice thing to say.
But that's what these guys do, right? Is they hype it up, right? I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be 1 million, but I'm interested to see when they finally roll out the game what it's going to look like and how they're going to encompass this. I'm sure it might not be 1 million, but I'm saying this large number of maps and how, like, I agree with you. It's probably going to be the way they're going to achieve it is with, AI doing randomized maps for every game that gets started, so that way, every time you play a game, it's always a fresh map. You don't like with PUBG, you could, if you play the game enough, you'll know every nook and cranny of every map, you know. So it gets a little stale. So this is it's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Last topic. The review for Pantheon. Let's talk about that. So I did finish it. That was an
okay. I finished it also.
Yeah. Okay. Spoiler alerts. We're gonna. If anybody's watching, we're gonna spoil a lot of stuff, so you might want to skip this. But so right off the bat, so much meta commentary on like what the future of mankind could potentially be, especially if you are talking about immortality and all that. And
I mean, do you remember the movie Lawnmower Man?
Yes, 100%.
Well, it's sort of
very
like
similar concept. Yeah, but
updated version, but these people are not necessarily evil. Lawnmower Man was
exactly.
Like
that's what I was gonna say. In
evil
Lawnmower
from
Man,
the beginning.
He takes an evil turn real fast. Like these guys, they're like trying to survive initially, and they're then when these governments get a hold of it, they make everything.
Had to be an Indian guy. I'm just saying, had to be an Indian dude.
Yeah. Had to be an Indian guy killed the other Indian dude too. That was dark, man. When he was like,
man,
the dude's brain off, I was like, holy crap!
Man. I was like,
what's happening right now? Yeah.
While he's still alive, and like there's nothing wrong with him.
I need you to talk while this is happening. Like what? And then
that's what I think that was the episode that I was up to, and I was like, yo, it's kind of dark. Like that's when I warned you, like when you watch it.
It's not even like the darkest thing. It gets really dark. You know when they finally get him uploaded, and then they're constantly making him relive that one day, and then they talk about how
just
he
reset.
Yeah, they just reset him. So then when that first happens, you don't really think about it, and then later when they start conversating about, hey, what happens to me if am I is this the same person, or is this a new person? Is this because you're taking me back from a previous upload, so then all these memories that I have accumulated from now and then, they don't exist anymore. So is that person somebody different? That, it's wild. Right?
Like, imagine being, again, hopefully, if we're talking about it and whoever's watching this, please take a look at it, because it can be quite confusing about what are these two weirdos talking about now. You need to watch it for it to comprehend.
There's a game that's very similar to this, right? There's it's a horror survival game.
Reload, what is it called? Refresh, Reborn, something like that.
No, you think of Returnal. You think of Returnal.
Returnal, yeah.
Not that. No, that's a very different reason why she returns, right? But there is a shit, man. I forget the name of the game. But there is a game where you start out as this character, right, who's potentially dying, and then he undergoes this treatment to see if he can help, and then there's this flash of light, and you think that no time has passed, but then you're walking around in this world, and everything is in ruins and dead, and then you realize through the game that they uploaded his conscience to a robotic scuba suit. So it's not even a human that's in there. It's just his conscience. And then later in the game,
there's RoboCop.
It's RoboCop. No, but later in the game, he gets trapped, and he has to upload his conscience to a new body, right? And to him, because he's not a science guy, right? So he's just like a laborer, right? So he doesn't understand. He thinks that his mind has been transferred over to this new body, right? So, but in reality, that other body still exists. He's still running around trapped in there. You just copied your contents into a new body. And so there's two of you running around here, and this guy's about to die because some crazy shit, and then you get to survive. Yeah. So the whole time he thinks, he's thinking oh, it's always been me this whole time. You throughout the game, you're asking yourself,
think about it again, alternate Altered Carbon was exploring that also, right? Like with the super rich, like they have a cloud upload of their stuff, and if you're poor, you only have the disc. So then again, like you can multiply yourself, and what's stopping you from being multiple people with the same conscience, or like the conscience of
they did that
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, like in the show, one of the characters does that, right? Where he like has multiple bodies of himself. Like,
but that's what I mean. But they were still uploading to the one body, like one conscience per body. But like that explores the double.
And then,
that's very cool. They should have put that. They should have put that in like maybe in season 2, because I know they're gonna do season 2, which kind of sucks. Like
they have. I just. You mean season 3?
Pantheon? No.
Oh, I think you were talking about Altered Carbon. Oh no, Pantheon.
Oh no, Altered Carbon season 2 was horrible. Like it wasn't horrible, but it was just not the same.
It wasn't as good as the first, but
the first one was really dope.
They already announced the season 2 for Pantheon. But you know what the crazy thing is? The ending of it was even more wild than the rest of the show, right? Is because at the very end, you realize,
you're like, oh my god, stuff. Copy.
Like, well, it's like you get so much revelation by the end of it, right? Number one, the revelation that the kid is a clone, right? And then right after that,
honestly, I
kind of knew that. I thought he was an uploaded conscious, not a clone. I thought originally.
No, I thought he was a clone. I thought he was a clone. Once I realized they're following a pattern, I was like, they're probably trying to make him just like the other guy to experience the same hardships and everything, you know?
Yeah. But you know, the crazy revelation is at the end when you realize like he solved the whole integrity thing, and then he like the conversation he has with the other guy is like, oh, you get to choose who becomes the god, right? Like he makes this one, the girl's father, into this being who potentially is going to be able to control the entire world, or anything cloud-based, anything like computer-based, and
which is everything.
Which is everything, right? But it's just wild. Like there was just so much existential stuff. Like that conversation that they have about what he's going to turn her father into was such an interesting.
I'm moving to Bali and I'm going to become a rice farmer, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm done with the world. If you want to Skype me, you're going to have to send me a messenger pigeon, you know?
Okay.
And I will not send it back. I will eat it. Okay?
But as for the review, this was a 10 out of 10. It was a very good show through and through. Like it kept me hooked. Like it was really, really intense. It was really dark.
It was deep.
It was beautiful. The music was great too. Like the
it was a great show. It was a great show. It was a great show.
Very, very well done.
It touched on so many political things. Just the possibilities, the things that are taking place now.
Yeah. And like the pacing was good too, right? Like they didn't like they kept you wanting more, and then they like breadcrumbed you with like revelation, and then like it kept getting more interesting and more intense, and then at the end when it was like an all-out war where everybody's like bombing each other and like the world's about to end, and people are still trying to live their lives, like it was like
people are still protesting.
Yeah, still frozen. Like people are throwing nukes, like it's like the end of the world, like what is happening right now? No, but it was. I thought that show was very, very good. I loved it.
Very cool.
10 out of 10.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was a very good pick.
I'm glad I recommended it. So
yeah, it was a very good pick.
It was fun to watch.
I'm glad I watched it. Like I like the other French one that you picked too, but this one was
Mars Express.
Mars Express. Like there was parts of that were a little hard to watch, right? Because it got like way more darker than this, definitely. But it is also there was there's like French in general, like media is very angsty and like existential all the time. So sometimes it can be a bit much, but this one was really good. By the way,
I'm gonna send you the article about the microchip that can do. Hold on, where was it? I just saw it. Fastest microchip champion is in solar fantastic in California's technology sector.
CMTA. You guys are gonna make a lot of money.
Okay, so the microchip holds the Guinness World Record for the fastest microchip ever made, operating at 1 trillion cycles per second, or 1 terahertz, which is 150 billion cycles faster than the previous record of 850 gigahertz set in 2012.
Wow.
It's crazy, dude.
That's wild.
That's what I said. Like we're close, and like imagine that's gonna be like right now. It's probably government and military, you know, and high end electronics. But eventually, those chips will make it to the market.
Oh yeah,
where
yeah.
me
They'll
and you
be
will
they'll
have
be
access to
consumer
it.
a bit. Yeah.
So that's what I'm
Once it gets
saying. It
cheaper to
will
make.
not that million generated, you know, AI generated maps will be a breeze for that microchip.
Yeah. Once the technology catches up, I don't think that being a problem for sure.
Yeah. All right, you were saying something? Sorry, I interrupted you. I just wanted to share that.
I was saying that I actually got a chance to download and play Legacy of Kain, the remastered, by the way.
You already played it? Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to
download it yesterday?
Right now, or do you want to?
No. I was gonna download it yesterday, but life got in the way, and I ended up napping.
Okay. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I was a little disappointed.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, again, it's still PlayStation 1 mechanics, right? So
that's the problem.
Well,
no, because trust me. See, I don't want to say anything. Just play the game. Play it if you're gonna get it. I don't want to ruin it for you. I just like the stories there, the graphics there. Honestly, see, I don't want to. Do you want to review it?
The gameplay is 20 years old.
All right, let's just talk about it. Okay,
okay, let's talk about it.
Okay. Yes, you are right. The gameplay is 20 years old, but what I'm upset about is all they did was they just upped the graphics using like some kind of AI or whatever, and they just slapped some lipstick on it, and that's all they did. Because it's still a really clunky, really difficult game to control. It's slow as fuck. It is.
And it's very basic.
It's very basic.
It's very like they didn't include any like additional combat sort of like movements
they didn't do
that you could do.
Any quality of life changes. Nothing. They didn't do nothing. Like it literally still plays like a PlayStation 1 game. And you're talking about playing this on a PlayStation 5 or on a rig like I have, like a desktop rig. I have a really powerful desktop rig for playing video games. You know, like
how much did it cost you? I'll send you PayPal money or whatever.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I'll repay you for your money wasted.
Well, here's the thing though. I actually don't. I'm not that upset because it was only $30.
Okay.
So it wasn't even that expensive, so I'm not that upset about it. Like that made it acceptable. I was like, oh, you're not charging me $60, you're charging me $30 for 2 games, not just one game, but 2 games.
Right.
2 games. So I'm not really mad at you. Like I get it.
Right.
I get it.
Okay.
Like if they had charged me $60 and they didn't upgrade the mechanics or change, like they didn't like update the quality of life of the game, I would have been like, yo, this is bullshit. Like I would have been rioting, right? But it was $30. Like, okay, so you wasted $30. It's not that big of a deal. It's like really, like, and you get 2 full games. So if you really want to get through the story, you just gotta stomach the shitty gameplay, and it's a really good story, you know. Like I played through most of the first game, you know. Yeah, like I played through most of the first game, and then I couldn't. I was just like, yeah, this is getting too much. I had to stop. I was like, yeah, this is just too slow and clunky. Like, yeah.
I understand, sir. I understand. Well, it makes sense. Well, thank you. I'm probably still gonna get it. So
you should. I mean, it's $30. Like I said, it's not bad.
I don't have the time with everything happening in my life. I just don't.
That's the thing, dude. That's the thing. It's 2 games. You're gonna end up spending a lot of time if you want to beat both games. You know. Yeah, it's not gonna be a short experience.
Anyways, let's talk about the Power Rangers game next week.
Oh, the beat 'em up that's coming out.
Yeah.
So
which is also 30. It's like $34, $35 as well, right?
Yes.
So we can compare it versus Nostalgia Berries with non-existent game, but with an existing EP, IP. Sorry.
Well, 6 months ago they had almost an exact same game, but Ninja Turtles. It was a beat 'em up platformer, and that game was really good. I downloaded it, I played it. It was really, really good. It was fun to play. It's hard.
Well, that's why this game was created. That's the reason why this game was created.
Yeah. So this will be fun to play, man. And it's the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers team, you know, like the ones we grew up with the Green Ranger, the Red Ranger, you know, like, and all of those characters. And like I was watching the video, and they have like the scenes from like the high school and like that restaurant that they all went to. It kind of reminded me of like Saved by the Bell a little bit, you know. So I think it'll be fun to play. I mean, and I've been hearing it's getting good reviews, so people are saying it's a good game.
Yeah. All right, my brother. I gotta go get ready. Go play some basketball for the first time in like 7 months. I'm very excited, but a little nervous. Hopefully my injuries. I need to remember to limit myself to limited play time. So let's come up with some stuff for next week, and then we can do next week while I still have my home office here. Maybe I'll be streaming from or recording at a different location, but I'll still be able to do it. Okay.
Sounds good. We'll do. All right, brother.
Later, dude. Bye, everyone.